know, I wonder if the trolls are going to come out for this one. Bunny girls and clowns. Oh, fuck. Last video of the day. Today I'm going to be reviewing Trollhunter. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it because it's definitely one of my favorites. It pretty much is about this documentary team of teenagers who are based out of Norway, and weird shit has been happening in the countryside, in the mountains and stuff like that, where they're finding dead bears, like shot. They think it's a poacher doing this stuff. But things just don't really add up when it comes to local interviews and how like they will hear weird stuff happening at night. And they end up kind of narrowing it down who they think it might be. And it's this old timer dude who rides around in a beat up, scratched up looking Jeep with really weird stuff attached to it, like a giant lamp. And there's spikes everywhere on the car. And just like, that doesn't look like typical bear hunting poacher behavior. So they follow him for a bit, and they eventually muster up the courage to actually confront him. And the guy pretty much tells them to F off and that they shouldn't be following him. And they keep on following him, and they follow him one night into the woods where they encounter some really weird stuff. As they're following his trail and everything, they notice that he drives into this road with like a gate, and the gate says caution, blasting area, thinking that there's going to be like mines or like explosive testing going on in this area and stuff like that. They ignore it, they go past it, and they eventually come across this dude's freaking Jeep just chilling out in the woods in the middle of the dark. And they're walking around trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and then they hear off in the distance, because they got a boom mic, roaring and growling. And the chick who's holding the boom mic's kind of like, WTF, like, what is this? Like, I'm hearing some really weird, creepy stuff off in the distance. Like, we should probably, start leaving. And eventually they start kind of backpedaling, but as they're backpedaling, they're noticing flashes off in the distance coming through the woods. And they're like, okay, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, the guy that they're following runs out of nowhere, panicking, flipping out, and just yells, "Troll, run!" And they all start booking it back to the Jeep. While they're booking it, the guy who is doing a lot of the interviewing gets snatched up, bitten, and was able to escape. And when they get back to the Jeep, this dude's freaking, got a nice little bite mark on his shoulder, and it stings like a mother effer. And they're just like, what the hell? Like, what was that? And the guy who they were following was just quiet the entire time. They didn't want to really say much, just keep on telling these people, like, you probably shouldn't be here, and that you're not going to, believe me what I'm doing out here. And to kind of sum it up, this guy goes around hunting for trolls out in Norway, and he has really interesting techniques when it comes to looking for these trolls, and how he covers himself in troll stink, and has a method of going about it with these trolls. Trolls don't like daylight, so he uses like a freaking UV kind of like blaster thing to blast light at them. And apparently some trolls will turn into stone, and some will just pop like a freaking pimple. You come to find out during this whole movie that the government of Norway knows about this problem and wants to keep it hush hush to the regular general public to reduce panic and not get people all freaking out about trolls living out in the countryside. And that they've been using dead bears as a cover up whenever this guy goes out hunting for trolls, to kind of make the locals sound like they're a bunch of crazy people. Whenever this guy gets done killing a troll, they throw a dead bear out there and say, "Oh, it's the some dude was hunting a bear, you know, and the weird stuff you were hearing, yeah, that was this guy freaking hunting this bear. So there's nothing to worry about, you know, some like MIB type of stuff. Um, Visually wise, this movie was really cool. It came to just the diversity of trolls in this movie because they had a lot of different types of trolls, and like each troll kind of has like their own little like I guess backstory when it comes to this. I guess oh, this troll, you know, looks like this because it relies heavily on doing this. Oh, this troll lives out in the mountains because it's freaking huge, and we kind of pushed it out in this area because I mean, if this troll gets closer to any kind of town, it's just gonna, if one step, it's just gonna level the entire village. And it's really cool. I mean, there's even they bring in some like some good troll lore and how if you're a Christian man, a Jesus believer, a God fearing Christian, and you're with this dude, that is a huge no no because trolls can smell the blood of a Christian man, like how the little nursery rhyme goes, like fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of a Christian man or something like that. And yeah, it happens. The cameraman was lying the entire time, and they end up finding themselves in a really weird, awkward situation where they end up getting kind of like stuck inside a cave with a family of trolls, and this guy is rubbing himself down with troll stench, and it gets to a point where he eventually runs out. He starts panicking, asking other people, and then just to make things worse, he starts to pray, and the guy who they've been freaking following is like, stop it, like. So they end up hauling ass out of this cave, but unfortunately, the Christian cameraman ends up getting snatched up and turned into uh, troll food. Um, yeah, so they hire a new, camera person, and it ends up being like a Muslim chick who they don't know if being a Muslim is going to affect the whole production. So they let's find out if them being a Muslim is gonna affect everything. But I don't know. They don't really go too deep into that one. But yeah, being a Christian hunting trolls, yeah, you're asking for a bad time. But nonetheless, this movie was really fun. I highly recommend it. It's currently on Tubi. I know when I first watched it, it was on Netflix. And I have a blast whenever I watch this movie. It's really fun. I'm going to be repeating myself a lot when it comes to this movie. Great stuff. Really enjoyed it. Amazing visual effects when it comes to just the designs for the trolls. It blends seamlessly with the movie. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about this movie other than it kicks ass and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up with this video today and probably give a shout out to artist Apathy, who drew that really bad piece back there with Starfire and Raven, bunny girls. Does a lot of amazing stuff. I know I got another piece coming in right now that I probably won't really be able to showcase. It's because it's pretty it's classy, but it's not safe for work for sure. Yep. That's Lydia Wilts too, by the way. Another freaking baddie who definitely needs all the attention and support as well. So highly recommend checking them both out. Amazing artist, does a lot of great stuff. Has a really amazing portfolio on his website with a bunch of original stuff, and he turns a lot of the original stuff into digital prints as well, which look really great as well. So until then, it's your boy M. Stick around. Bunny girls rock, and so do clown girls. Together, it's just like legendary. So yeah, catch you in the next one. Oh, and if I show up this week on your feed, consider yourself lucky, just because if you haven't been watching the previous videos, I am a busy dude and it's tiring. So yeah, catch you in the next one. Peace.